The ocean. Billions of cubic kilometers of water fill the earth. Its immense size never ceases to amaze us. Life is constantly evolving beneath the surface. A deep and diverse world full of the weird and wonderful. Large marine creatures roam these pelagic waters. Prehistoric animals that attract attention from those on land. But hiding in the shadows of these mighty mammals are other kinds of creatures. Rare and strange, brightly colored, but also masters of disguise. Delicate, but potentially poisonous, hunters and hunted. Together they feed, mimic, take refuge, and coexist in a multitude of ecosystems, more diverse than those on land. These strange species hide deep underwater, a mystery even to scientists. Incredible beings coexisting in the harsh conditions of the marine environment, in a constant struggle for survival. Together, this community of weird ocean creatures transforms the underwater world into an extraordinary place. Undoubtedly, the sea, despite its closeness, surprises and attracts us because it is a great unknown. When we delve a little deeper into the depths of the sea, we find creatures that we could only imagine as children. The striking colors, protuberances, and angular shapes of some species remind us of beings from another planet. Discovering how they adapt and use their extraordinary features to find food, hide, or fight their enemies is fascinating. Whether it's their eyes, noses, fin shapes, or ability to camouflage themselves, the protagonists in this episode are the most extravagant in the underwater world. In nature, color isn't just a matter of beauty. It's a vital language that communicates, attracts, and protects. Like the fields of vibrantly colored flowers that decorate the land, coral reefs explode in a vast array of hues, creating an underwater landscape full of life and splendor. Many marine species take refuge in the nooks and crannies. Intense red in color, a bivalve mollusk is positioned in a strategic place. Hidden in one of the crevices, it could pass for a simple anemone, but nothing could be further from the truth. This animal is an electric clam that lives attached to the bottom while generating an effect that simulates an electric current to attract its prey or to defend itself from possible predators. This is nothing more than an effect it achieves by scattering ambient light by means of tissues found on the edge of the mantle that contain silica, which is a great reflector. It grows to between 5 and 8 centimeters long and is covered with long tentacles that protect its interior and help it to catch food. Close to its position, a humpback scorpionfish camouflages itself perfectly among the corals around it thanks to its red and white coloring. These fish, which are very similar to devilfish, are characterized by their smaller size and very bright colors that change as they grow. Like their relatives, they also have the characteristic venomous spines that they only use for defense, a protractile mouth, and protuberances and different filaments that cover their body and help them in their mimetic mission. Similar to a close relative, this painted frogfish has positioned itself among the coral remnants. Its red coloration and characteristic darker circles of different sizes make it go unnoticed among so many coral remains. It hardly moves. It keeps an eye out for a small fish passing close to its position, but won't attack until it sees that it has a good chance of hitting its target. In the marine world, there are animals that try to disappear among the vegetation or hide in a hollow to go unnoticed. But there are also animals that always stay in the same place, like this giant clam. It's the largest bivalve mollusk in existence, weighing more than 300 kilos and measuring up to 1.5 meters in length. Some adult specimens can't completely close due to the size of the mantle, which is full of iridescent dots and brightly colored. Under the sea, close to the inhabited coasts of the island of Luzon, is one of the families with the most different shapes, colors, and appendages of its members. This pair of Rhysbesia trioni moves along the seabed in a crawling behavior, in which up to 4 individuals touch each other. The rhinophores, the sensory receptors used for smell and taste, are located on the top of their heads. They're surrounded by a thin purple line on the mantle where the gills are also found, which are shaped like a feather duster and are located in the posterior area, and which move slowly as they crawl along the bottom. They also raise their heads, but although they have almost imperceptible eyes, their vision isn't as developed as in other species. Nudibranchs, which are commonly known as sea slugs, inhabit all types of ecosystems, although there is more diversity in warm, shallow waters as their survival is closely linked to water temperature. Other species that may appear to be very delicate, but whose structure is in fact perfectly created for survival, are shrimps and prawns. This colorful female spiny tiger shrimp carries her eggs and hides among the coral. She moves backwards due to the weight of her cargo, which she treats with great care. They're very small, measuring no more than 3 centimeters, although the white and orange of their body stands out against their surroundings. Far from the seabed, unicorn fish enjoy the freedom that comes with a lack of predators. Belonging to the large family of surgeonfishes, they are distinguished from their relatives by the bony protuberance between or above the eyes in the shape of a horn, by which they are known, and which is more prominent in males. Their curious silhouette makes them very recognizable. They're herbivorous and somewhat territorial. They live in small groups found in areas of currents as they spawn in open water. The environment of this small pipefish contrasts with the previous one. But like the unicorn fish, this species has an elongated tube-shaped termination. Unlike the previous ones, this snout includes their mouth cavity, with which they suck in small organisms. Their elongated body allows them to move subtly, gliding along the seabed, but in an agile and efficient manner. At times, only the continuous breathing through the small gills at the back of their head and the constant movement of their eyes give away their alertness. They're able to move individually and detect any movement among the sediment in order to suck up any prey with a quick movement. Their size and shape help them go unnoticed among corals and vegetation. The heads of these fellows protrude from crevices in the sea floor. Ribbon moray eels prefer coral environments where they are more inconspicuous due to their striking colors. Because of their reduced field of vision, these moray eels have developed a better sense of smell than other species. They have a nasal structure that allows them to detect odors in the water, which is essential for their survival. Although they don't have a nose in the conventional sense, they have nostrils located on the top of their head. These nostrils help them sense chemicals in their environment, allowing them to locate prey, such as fish and crustaceans, as well as identify potential dangers. To date, it is the only moray eel known to have sexual dimorphism through color. Juvenile males sport a black color with a yellow line running the length of the body. But as adults, the dark color changes to bright blue. Females, however, take on yellow as their main color. Their bodies look like ribbons moved by experienced gymnasts as they emerge from their holes. This is more frequent at night when they come out to hunt. This characteristic is even more accentuated in the long-nosed shrimp. Its nose is shaped like a duck's beak, but in turn, it's made up of what looks like feathers, hence its name. It can coexist with different species in a reduced space, in this case, a marble shrimp, also particularly characteristic due to its coloring and shape. It feeds on a wide variety of organic matter with its elongated and very thin legs, thus cleaning the anemone in which it lives, and helping the decomposition of these organisms, and thus playing a crucial role in the ecosystems. Another species that is surprising for its morphology is the razorfish. But this isn't what is most striking about these animals, which usually live in small groups. They swim upside down. Although they're able to move horizontally, they move with their heads facing the sea bottom. This is because the shape of their head ends with an elongated snout, with which they peck at small organisms such as small shrimp and invertebrates or microcrustaceans. Because of this way of feeding, they tend to inhabit calm water environments near coral reefs. They have a curious body shape, laterally compressed with a transverse spot running from their tail to their eyes and a lack of visible fins, only a rigid spine as a caudal fin, although it's these that help them maintain this curious position. In the tropical waters of the Celebes Sea, the strange underwater life has become its main attraction. Many of the characteristics that some species possess help them to camouflage themselves. As in the case of the hairy frogfish, they also serve to make them great hunters. This fish is covered with fine branches that resemble hair, which helps its prey to mistake them for plants or other plant formations. At this time of day, when it's dark, it moves somewhat less cautiously than during the day. Its movements are extremely slow. It moves thanks to pectoral and pelvic fins that have evolved to look like legs, although these don't allow it to swim, and it may appear to be a very clumsy species. However, they are voracious predators that hunt extremely fast. With its large mouth, it's capable of catching prey much larger than itself, as it can expand to up to 12 times its size. Once engulfed by the rapid absorption of water, they trap the prey in their stomach and close their esophagus so that it can't escape. They're extremely patient and have a small lure on the top of their head resembling a worm, and which they move constantly while the rest of their body remains motionless. The devil scorpionfish, a distant cousin of the frogfish, also appears to walk on the bottom. It too is an infallible hunter. Although lacking a lure, its tactics are identical. It walks along the sand, hardly leaving a trace. It moves its pectoral fins with two separate rays in the shape of spines as if they were elongated legs, so it seems to walk on the seabed. Its ability to mimic its environment is extreme. Filled with wart-like glands, they can look like a plant, part of a rock, or coral. Or they can bury themselves in the sand and even cover themselves with reef elements. Sometimes they're only visible by their large eyes, which are very sensitive to changes in light. Their nostrils just perched on top to facilitate breathing. Or by the shape of their mouth, if they move it at all. Although they don't have any known predators, they still have venomous spines on their body to defend themselves. At first glance, one might think that a coral fragment is moving through the gentle flow of water. Impossibly shaped protrusions, spines, and fins give some species perfect camouflage and a special beauty. In the case of the harlequin ghost pipefish, it's the best way for them to protect themselves. This extravagant animal is found floating around the crinoids and soft coral with which it is perfectly camouflaged. Its spikes and body shape are designed for this. But their beaks are extremely thin, which makes it difficult for them to find the right food. Tiny crustaceans, plankton, or some shrimp larvae are the prey it absorbs by staying upside down to facilitate its attack. This humpback scorpionfish looks like a white rock. Immobile, imperceptible, it has adapted its coloring to perfection. Any potential prey that approaches it won't see its end coming at all. Lembe. This small island, remarkable for its luxuriant vegetation, surprises underwater with its vast expanses of sand. This white coloring is characteristic of many other species that inhabit, for example, sandy expanses. Thus, this white mantis shrimp manages to make itself almost invisible. But it is the eyes that stand out most in these marine creatures. They are perhaps the most fascinating in the animal kingdom, as they are divided into 3 sections. This evolution of vision leads them to be able to detect a wide range of colors, including ultraviolet and polarized light. They can have up to 16 types of photoreceptors, whereas humans have only 3 types of color-sensitive cells. They're separate from the body, which makes their head somewhat small in relation to the rest of the body. They're able to move independently, which gives the shrimp stereoscopic vision. This enables them to judge distance very effectively, and that's crucial for hunting. The eyes of marine animals are most curious. This is due to the great diversity of environments and light variations in which they live. This is the reason for the evolution and shape of these underwater creatures. On these same sandy bottoms, another curious creature can be found. Megrim soulfishes are flattened and move close to the bottom. Their eyes are located on the upper side, and they have independent movements. But the most striking thing is that the body is lying on its right side. Thus, the mouth of the fish lies obliquely. Their coloring contributes to their perfect camouflage. It's barely visible due to its breathing. If it doesn't move, it goes unnoticed, and when it does, it lifts its head part and starts swimming. From its small burrow, a wide-mouthed goby watches its surroundings. They're very curious and attentive to everything that happens around them. Their large eyes are highly adapted to locate their prey. If it notices any danger, it will quickly hide. In the ocean, there are many animals with amazing characteristics. In schools of fish, the group protects itself from predators. They synchronize their movements with great perfection. In addition, there are species such as mackerel fishes that swim in large groups and take advantage of the movement to open their mouths and filter out small organisms in the water current. Their defense mechanisms are quite varied. The sea cucumber uses one that never ceases to amaze. They have the ability to expel their organs to throw off possible enemies and then regenerate them again. They also manage to secrete mucus threads that they project towards possible aggressors, which in some cases even irritate or paralyze them. This family of echinoderms is very extensive. There is a great variety of sizes and shapes, but they all crawl slowly along the seabed, aided by their body and ambulacral feet on the ventral part. They feed on algae, detritus, or by ingesting large quantities of sand, which they eventually expel once they have absorbed the nutrients they need from it. Other species also use elements of their bodies to survive. In the case of remeras, a suction cup or suction disc on the top of their head is used to attach themselves to other larger animals, such as whales or sharks. Their mouth is inverted, which is very useful for making the most of the leftover food that escapes from their host. In this case, a long-finned batfish looks like a possible companion. They grow to a large size, but this one doesn't seem big enough for this remora to attach safely. This upside-down or inverted jellyfish behaves in the complete opposite way to its relatives, as the vast majority are suspended in the water current. It lives in shallow, sandy environments and stays attached to the bottom with its bell like a suction cup. Its tentacles face upwards in symbiosis with algae on its fringes so that they can photosynthesize. In this way, they obtain oxygen and nutrients, although they also feed on small prey and zooplankton. As we've already noted in this episode, the ability to go unnoticed can make all the difference. Almost unnoticeable skeleton shrimp accompany an eye-catching spiny seahorse. Its yellow color stands out against the small coral islet on which it sits. These delicate animals travel short distances and need to stop often, as they're not great swimmers. They don't seem to have noticed the presence of these tiny creatures, but they have seen the tired visitor and don't seem to be amused. Crabs are most active at night. They scour the seabed for any snack they can get their hands on. This sponge crab is very amused by a piece of soft coral. With his pincers, he's breaking it up to get at the algae hidden inside. He's putting a lot of effort into it. Its sheer size and strength contrasts with the comical appearance of the sponge stuck on its hind legs. These crabs adorn themselves with this type of organism to camouflage themselves, something that at the moment doesn't seem to bother him, as he's focused on food. Once its appetite has been satiated, it abandons the remains that are no longer of use to it and continues on its way. It's surprising how this decorator's spider crab, with its strange figure, goes unnoticed on the sandy bottom. This fish has even mistaken it for a possible nocturnal shelter. Even when it moves, it doesn't attract attention, as it looks like a plant moved by the sea current. It's only when it is looking for a place to camouflage itself that a mixture of algae and other animal formations can be seen covering its head. This curious adornment and its terracotta color make it look like a potted plant in motion, or a cactus in the desert. The disguise is achieved by small ridges on its body that cause reef debris to become entangled. Some of them proliferate and grow on it. There aren't many examples of animals capable of disguising themselves as beautifully and effectively as this family of crabs. The crystal-clear waters that cover the seabed of the Thai Islands are a paradise for humans and home to fascinating animals. The body colors of some crustaceans are very striking, but in the case of the different species of anemone shrimp, their body is transparent, interrupted only by white and purple spots in different patterns and on their tiny pincers. They use them to clean the anemones they live with of parasites, so that one stays fed and the other free of any annoying organisms. Such relationships are quite common. Clownfish, shrimps, crabs, there are many species that maintain symbiotic relationships with these animals that are often mistaken for plants. Malapascua is a small Philippine island in the Visayas Sea, where sandy seabeds are interspersed among the richness of coral reefs. Flathead fish wear brownish colors. This nervous individual with large eyes and an elongated flat shape buries itself in the sand waiting for small crustaceans and fish. This is why its coloring is so important. It achieves this by raising a sandy cloud by waving its body and mouth. If it's not convinced by its hiding place, it will quickly look for another location. A gorgonian stands majestically, its solitary appearance nothing more than an illusion. But among its branches and polyps, tiny creatures no bigger than 2 centimeters blend in perfectly. These adorable pygmy seahorses are the same color and shape as the gorgonian on which they live. With their small prehensile tail, they hop from one side to the other. As with other seahorse species, this male carries the fertilized eggs in his abdomen until they are ready to hatch. They also suck up tiny organisms through their tube-like snout. This allows them to feed without expending much energy, as their movements are limited. They're very sensitive to changes in their ecosystems, which is why they're not very numerous. Almost as delicate, coral shrimp hide among the vegetation. Their long, thin pincers catch all the food that passes in front of them. Because they eat such small amounts, they have to feed constantly. Rather than moving, they seem to float as they clean everything in front of them of parasites. Finally, the species that best represent adaptations to the environment are the octopus. These animals are capable of changing color, shape, and appearance, adapting to their surroundings with great efficiency and intelligence, even modifying their texture to camouflage themselves. They use their remarkable intelligence to achieve their goals. And if that doesn't work, they're also fast swimmers thanks to their siphon and flexible, lightweight body. The different characteristics that some species have developed respond to their need to adapt to their environment. As their environment changes, they evolve. Different techniques for hunting or mimicking the terrain make a difference for many of the animals we have met throughout this episode. Most of them are victims of industrial and mass fishing. The big threat behind unwanted fishing and overfishing is the depletion of fish stocks. Controlled fishing is not a problem in the ocean, but there are boats that catch a large mass of fish that don't have enough time to regenerate. This results in some of the most important fish species being on the verge of extinction. In the next episode, we will wander through the green plains and encounter creatures that use the vegetation in numerous ways. All the action that lurks among the algae, as in the desert plains, often goes unnoticed. But under its protection, there is a whole world to discover.